Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another video. Today we are tanking the Glacial Tarn. Everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, feel free to check out other videos. I make videos on how to DPS, starting to get into how to tank videos, much more. So feel free to check it out, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. Oh, get slow, Bebop, with your fast self, bruh. Can barely move. Boy, when they hit you coming through here, man, it slows the heck out of you. If you're new to tanking this dungeon, this is just an M2, so it's pretty basic. You just want to try to follow some of these steps, pointers, you know, guide or whatever. First of all, if you're DPS and you have aggro with those little night guys, don't run the opposite way of the tank, because now shit's spread out. Where are you going? Why are you fighting them way back there? Bring them through me, huh? I can take care of them, you know, solve your problems, man. I can do it for you. Little cost, but you know, we work it out, man. Anyways, I'll never do that again. And so, yeah, you just want to try to DPS as much as you can. In an M3, you will have silence, so be prepared to move. Don't get stuck up against the wall. Didn't happen to me or anything earlier. No, I'm just saying, just watch out for stuff like that because it can get you, bruh. And make sure you dodge through here to keep your fire. I didn't want to upstage everybody, so I want to show them accidents happen. So I lost my fire, no big deal. We're going to drag these guys down. On the M1 and M2, you got to, you know, I think you can take these guys down no matter what. But on an M3, you need to gauge your DPS. Gauge it on that first battle. How fast is that? You know, it really shouldn't take that long to get through those shield guys and that big guy. If it does, don't drag all the ones up top down here because you'll probably just end up getting everybody killed. But they need to focus on taking out the archer first and then all these guys next. It's really good to have a hammer here to go ahead and stun these guys over and over. I have a great sword because I've been getting back into great sword tanking, and also it does really good stamina damage to bust their shield. So that way they stumble back a little bit, but a hammer would be better in this situation. Most tanks are going to be sword and shield with a hammer. So if you want a sword and shield with a great sword also, I think it's really good. I mean, the taunts, the relentless rush that I can do to get through enemies, like right here, I usually relentless rush right through, get on this side. I love getting on this side, letting DPS and the healer be back there. All the enemies this guy will spawn will be right on my back, so the healer is not in any danger of ever being attacked right here. And the DPS can roll out as far as they want to get away from the void. They feel they need to. Plus, when silence drops on the M3, they're going to have plenty of room to roam around and, you know, take pictures and sightsee, whatever they want to do out there. Now, this tunnel coming up, I would tell most people if you're going to run an M3, you need to go into the fire that was back to our left and then take out a few enemies up here up front. But if you want to drag them through, you can. Just know tank stay to the left, DPS and the healer stay to the right is about the best you can do. It's a narrow hallway, so it's not too much spread. But this archer, you have to watch. He'll do single shots, but then when he does the rapid shot, it's spread out, like it fans out. So if you're in the way, boom, you're going to get hit. And usually someone always goes down. Right here as a tank, just grab aggro these guys, bring them around the corner. That way everybody's forced to come to you, archers and all. Now on an M3, you would want to watch out for silence here, because if you get trapped up against this wall with silence, or silence procs when you can't taunt, like let's say right now, I lose aggro of the archer in the back, and I can't taunt, oh, that might be a problem. Now, archer should be taken out by the DPS. It's not really the tank's job to keep aggro on the archers back there, but you know, you want to try to do that as best you can to help everybody out. Well, that's what I love about the great sword right there, being able to pull up the calamity counter and just block up everything, relentless rush through enemies to get to a better spot. And also when you get going with the great sword and you put your, you know, defiant stance down and you start swinging away, you just don't get moved. You're in one place and you're not going anywhere. Enemy's not going to move you. Right here, I get on the voice chat and I say, hey, DPS, get on the archer in the back, because the healer just put the sacred down, and I kind of feel like an a-hole sometimes just leaving the sacred after the healer put it down, because I just know how that is. Like, damn it, I just put it down for you, leaving it? Well, I want to try to keep aggro on these two and help out the DPS as much as I can. Oh, swing and a miss. Sometimes if you're swinging too much and being too much of an aggressive tank, which I do it all the time, you will put your DPS in a bad situation. So be careful. If you do overswing like that, you correct yourself and get back on the right side. Because if the swings around and hits DPS, I mean, they're there to do damage. You're there to tank. Unless you're going low con tank and you got it all worked out with your team, you're not there to do damage. But you got to do some damage to keep aggro. You know, taunting's one thing. Threat is another. You know, you got to do damage to keep and hold, you know, your aggro and threat. So you do need to swing some. Don't just taunt and hide behind the shield, because any high DPS player like myself will take that aggro from you so quickly. One or two things here. If you're running with a group that's going to be all ranged on this guy, then I would say go light gear and just do ranged tanking. Have a separate set and you could throw a hatchet and just do ranged tanking. Now he'll slam more because you're not in front of him, and it'll be more of an icicle dodge and him sliding around, but you can do more damage that way. And to be honest, a lot of people just get destroyed trying to melee against this guy, even on a 2. But I'd say if you want to do melee as a, you know, as your DPS on this guy, especially on an M3, medium gear with about 50 con, and just have your strike amulet protection, or strike protection amulet, because when he turns around to swing like that, it'll help you prevent you from getting one shot, especially being in medium gear. And you could still do really good DPS that way, and you don't have to, you know, feel like every time he turns around and swings he's gonna kill you. You still want to dodge and do all that stuff, but as a tank here, you just want to swing, hold aggro, watch out for the icicles. Not much you can really do here. He's just almost impossible to control. He's gonna slide around, go after any ranged people. You can't really pull him out into a certain area. He's gonna do what he kind of wants to do. But if you can keep his back turned toward all the ranged while they're sitting back there, it will at least help them out get more criticals. Even though sometimes I feel like on this guy, the front of him is easier to get criticals than the back of him. Like, he has so much damn armor on the back of him, it's just hard to get criticals. So maybe a ring with keen awareness might be beneficial to some of y'all out there. I think I was running 140 con or something like that here. Can't really remember. I think maybe on this boss set it goes up a little bit. But throughout the whole dungeon, I know the regular set, the void protection set, is 147, I believe. Now, I did greatsword tank and sword and shield tank this guy on M3 earlier today, and I would say, yeah, the sword and shield would definitely be the thing you want to have out the most. The greatsword doesn't have enough protection against this guy, and you'll end up just getting killed. You know, I didn't have Serenity, but then again, the greatsword I had Trench of Strikes, Refresh, and Move. I can't remember what the third perk was, some bullcrap perk. But I would say definitely the sword and shield is the way to go on that boss, being up close. I will be trying to get a tanking footage of the M3 and also DPS footage in an M3 on this. I think I did 4 or 5 runs today on Marma, or this evening on Marma. But the problem with this dungeon is none of the groups can finish. None of the groups can finish. I mean, like, it is so bad out there. I swear. I mean, getting past the first boss is almost a miracle in some of these lobbies. I just don't understand it. I mean, people just need to practice more on M2s before they come up. But, you know, I did this on an M2 for a reason. And I just don't know, like last week, if I'm going to find a group on this server that's going to be able to do a M3 properly. I was more focused last week on streaming and getting that all going and set up in a community Discord. This week I'm back to focusing on videos. I will be streaming also, But I do have to take advantage at times when I do have a group on to try to get recorded footage for a video. Can't really do that while I'm streaming because the computer's not strong enough, and if I try to go back and download the file off YouTube or Twitch and then edit, it just looks really bad. I want to see what I can do about that. And I'm also going to look at getting a video recorder like an Elgato, so that way I can record while I stream, because having to decide which one I'm going to do and then spending a night where you don't get, you know, anything recorded, you just kind of wasted it. It's getting kind of old. So right here, you just want to group them all up, make sure you get the fire so you can do some damage. Try to keep all the enemies back, turn toward the DPS where they're coming from. I always like to say, okay, I'm approaching a group of enemies, let me get on the opposite side, so when the DPS is approaching, they're already, boom, right there, hitting all the criticals. I don't want them to have to dodge around. They don't have to go do a whole, you know, curve and then a 180 to start doing damage. Try to make it as easy as you can on them. Right here, the healer or anybody with range will hit that archer up top to pull him down. You just make sure you grab aggro. These guys are really easy to kill. You can put your human ward pots on right here. Just know there's still some ancients enemies up here, especially these archers. And this guy with the big slam, so they will one-shot a lot of people. So I would almost say just keep your ancient coatings on, because you can see how much I, even on a 2, almost died out right there. I mean, I'm 147 con, but still, you probably want to keep your ancient coatings on here until you get through the gate to the right. That way, then it's pretty much all humans. And yeah, it is all humans from then on. And you'll be good to go. Especially the DPS. They need all the protection they can get. I don't know where they are right now, but you know, I can take these guys out, no problem. I think they're punching air back there. We'll be trying to get some speed runs in on this dungeon this week too. Met a new group today on the nicest server, a bunch of good players, and so I have 2 groups over there that are really good and are are on at different times or somewhat similar times, but if one group's full, then the other group might have an open spot for me. So that's good, and hopefully we get to run some more and get some of those speed runs in, because man, that's what's real fun. This dungeon's real quick and easy to do for speed running. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but going through this part right here where the gate opens, right here, boom, this is where I usually crash for whatever reason. I've uninstalled and reinstalled the game. Doesn't matter. For some reason right there, the coding or whatever it is, it kills my game a lot. So streaming this tomorrow is going to be interesting. I think the last time I played this, I don't know if I streamed, but my God, it kept cutting out when I would go through that gate. I'm like, well, all right, well, let me just load this thing back up here. You know, just ruins the run, especially if you're a tank, because what is everybody else going to do? So it might be best for me not to tank, but I'm putting everybody at risk, baby. I don't give a crap. Everybody at risk. Everybody about to die. Right here, you just want to try to hold the enemies as long as you can for the other guy to come up. And then it's like, oh, okay, I'm about to die, I'm out. Click. Always pull these enemies over to the right. All right, I hate when people, I swear I hate when people aggro these guys and they go run around like that, a bunch of idiots. Bring them over here. Because if not, the archers will be shooting down and they'll one-shot the healer or DPS, and then you'll hear the healer or the DPS going, what hit me? I don't get it. I mean, come on, Jason, what happened? Like, dude, get your butt over here and get behind the wall so you're protected, so you don't get one-shot. But it comes with, you know, running the dungeon a lot, you know. This guy's kind of in a bad spot. I mean, they can get back shots, but I guess not now. But oof, his moves, man, they do hit all directions. Here's a little shortcut right here. Everybody goes to the far left here. Just cut across these rocks, ding dongs. No reason to go the other way. I mean, come on. Right here, tanks, what you want to do is just get on the other side of the big guy and go ahead and have them all facing you. I did my own little gravity well there, and that's it. Work on stamina damage. Once you get this guy down, no one better do a move to wake him up like that right there. Who did it? Swear. You know, some people are already in their, you know, motions, but if you're already about to do a sweep or something and you see that stamina bar getting low, don't do it. Don't do it. Because you ain't going to take him down that fast on a 3, so the lightning strikes he does is just going to hurt so much and get people knocked. This boss right here, slash protection amulet, is really good to have if you're DPS melee, medium gear, 50 con, 75 con, whatever it is. Get up there with the hatchet, slash damage, ring, and get going. Because you want to do slash damage to this guy because he's human. So have your human coatings on, war pod and all that good jazz. Get that gatherable to the left there. And you want to make sure that you keep an eye on the big guy in the middle, because he'll be doing attacks with the hand slams and all the other attacks he does. As a tank, you want to put your back toward the guy. All right, you want to be right here where I'm at on each platform. That way the DPS have full eyesight on the big guy and they can see what's coming, because you as a tank are going to have 300 con most likely, and you can take the slams and the thrust that he does. The DPS will not be able to, neither will the healer. I'm getting a little bit too far out there and pushing the DPS out of the sacred, if you noticed. So what I need to do is back up some so they can be in the sacred. If I'm hogging the sacred for myself and they get hit by stuff and they can't heal, well, that's my fault ultimately for not giving them space to get in the sacred. Keep putting your back and working your way back, you know, toward the big guy in the middle. Always try to fight on a platform that does not have one of the mages, acolytes, whatever you want to call those things. That way you're free and clear of the ice hitting you. This ice bomb needs to be taken out as quick as you can. If you're a tank, be very careful doing what I'm doing here. If that guy's over here on this platform, if the boss is over here on the platform and you're doing that, you're going to get DPS killed. That slam was really close. Once again, put my back toward the big guy. Let them have all the room they want. I can take that, no big deal. Even on a 3, you can take it. DPS always needs to bring something ranged, because when the big guy gives this boss empower and the green circles come up, it's very hard for the tank. Right here, when he's about to blow ice everywhere, get to the next platform. DPS or healer already should have been over here building a bridge. And then once again, put your back toward the big guy. And look at all my DPS just going to work. Oh my god, they're destroying this guy. Look at that. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's another. How many y'all get lost, bro? You take a detour, sightseeing? And you just want to keep putting down some damage as much as you can, you know. Tanks aren't going to do much damage, but you can keep aggro. This is where he's empowered, so your blocks and stuff, or you're going to get stamina damaged heavily right here. DPS needs to take those green circles out quickly. I'm not going to follow him because that's what he wants me to do. I'm going to wait and he's going to come to me. Unlike the first boss, this guy will go to you, so don't freak out. See, the DPS has plenty of room. They should be building bridges. That's what I was kindly telling them on the voice chat. Alright, he's in a little tricky spot right here. I'm not giving the DPS any room to breathe, so I'm going to back up some. so they can get behind. Now I'm to the right a little bit too much on his left leg, so that got that DPS hit from behind. He's empowered again. Get those green circles gone. I'm gonna get out of here so he's not swinging on him while they're trying to do that. Now, of course, on the M3, this is going to be way more difficult. So, you know, temper your expectations. I would say you need to run this if you're a DPS at 5con a bunch of times and just get used to it. That way you're somewhat used to, I mean, it's not going to be like what an M3 is because you're going to have silence also involved. But you need to be able to do this M2 consistently at 5con before you go up to an M3. Don't come up to an M3 and join a lobby and you don't know what the hell you're doing and you just die on the first boss and you're still dying to his little skating mobility things. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. I just can't stand it. But, you know, that's some of my thoughts on tanking, and, you know, I didn't use a hammer. I would rather have a great sword any day, but the group probably wants you to have a hammer, so take that into consideration for the stuns and the CC. It's pretty important. Anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be doing more of these, and I'll be working on those M3 versions, baby. All right, see y'all on the stream sometime this week, and I'll talk to y'all then. Later.